ABSL Summit. Beyond Tomorrow. Building a Sustainable Future.
Targets around that communicated to the outside community, all our customers and suppliers. So we're going to start with the first question. How much do you think ABB has reduced its greenhouse gas emissions since 2013? So you get an opportunity through the menti.com or the ABSL Summit app to be able to go in there and actually participate in this interactive session. The code is quite long. It's 6704893. So I don't know how we can check how many people are already in there. Maybe a show of hands. All right, okay, that's good enough for us.
It works.
Okay, so we're going to just check in on what the answers are looking like coming in. Okay, we've got a pretty good spread between 58%, and good that you guys anticipated that we're not as low as 20%. So if we go back to the actual presentation, the true answer is 58%.
Bravo.
So far, so good. Now, if you look about kind of water, when it comes to electricity, when it comes to water, and when it comes to waste, we're pretty active, right? This say-do ratio, it's getting better and better. And it's exactly kind of in the center of the storm when it comes to pioneering engineering company as ABB. As you can see here, we're utilizing our, let's say, solar panels and also the green certified electricity companies for 32% so far. Waste consumption, 39%. We did shower today. Don't worry about that, okay? We just use less water. And when it comes to the waste that's going out into the, let's say, the environment, 40% so far. So we need to work closer with companies and governments around the world to ensure that these numbers go up and up and up. Since in 2016, I'll never forget this. I was working in Switzerland, and we had this amazing kind of thing that someone was saying, we're going to have this solar paneled plane flying around the world. Impulse. And it was an impulsive thing to do, but it was successful. A lot of people behind it, traveling around the world. Great job, right? I tried to get on that team, but they said, no, you're not ready for that yet. But as you can see, it really was a joint effort across different technology companies to make that happen. This is just a groundbreaking example over the last couple of years of what we've been able to do. I can't pronounce this. It's a German place. Thank you. Sounds great. 2019, the first CO2 neutral production location. And I'm now going to hand over to Tomasz, who's going to give a case study within the presentation today around one of our businesses with process automation. Before we get there, he's going to talk about, he's going to cover the next question.
It's one of my favorite stories about ABB, what we are doing now, and what we are doing here in Poland, in Krakow, in our technology center. Because this technology you will see in a couple of minutes is co-created in our technology center in Krakow. Now, the question, how many cars have the same amount of emission as 15 megaships, large ships, tankers, cruisers?
Let's see the scores. Okay. Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And nothing at the same time.
Still, so far, so good. Let's go back to the presentation.
The answer is quite surprising.
See.
All the cars in the world, huh?
15 megaships, just 15 megaships, creating the same CO2 emission like all cars on that planet. Impressive, yes?
Yeah. We brought this to Gdańsk actually this morning. You'll find it just over there.
And can you imagine that just 15 of such mega ships is generating the same CO2 emission like all cars on that planet?
Oh,
yes. Now, we have in our process automation business area a technology system working 24/7, connecting our service center with each single ship somewhere in the world and giving them the online service. How it works, there is a ship, there is a satellite connection, and there is our service engineer. And now, here is the small story about the ship with LNG transport. And the ship starts in Australia, going to Japan, and somewhere in Philippines there is a break in the electricity system. And normally they should send someone from Philippines on the ship to check what is wrong, to repair, go back. The ship will stay on the sea at least 2 days. With this system, using the satellite connection in our service center in Norway, the colleagues can read the technical parameters, they can send back the message to the ship, and in a very simple way, they can repair the micro switch. Typical saving 2-3 days and $120,000. But it's not about money. It's about that this ship was not producing, generating CO2 for additional 2 days.
Fantastic. I mean, it goes even further. Right? We get quite excited when we go to our research and development center in Krakow because it's like kids in a candy store. It's like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. We see kind of real things come to life there with regards to how we can be more sustainable to ensure that we help navigate those ships around the world, that they actually avoid choppy waters to not lose some of their cargo, just as an example.
And it's a global solution, but again, 50 Polish engineers is working for keeping the system running in Krakow.
Very good. So I guess back over to me. So it was one of those 3 imperatives when it comes to sustainability. We enable a low-carbon society. And if we go through some of these things, we've got another question for you, okay? So how many combustion cars emits emissions in an equivalent of 100 megatons of CO2 emissions? Is it 30 million, 24, or 45? We're talking big numbers here. Quite a combustion. If we can have a look at what the responses are looking like. Okay, not bad. All right. Let's have a look at the truth. 30 million. 30 million. So we're getting there, but it's close enough to the mark. 100 megatons. So we support our customers in reducing their annual CO2 emissions by at least 100 megatons. So it's quite a, let's say, a target that we strive towards with some of the big companies in the world. When we look at the resources that we tend to try to sustain, I'll hand back over to you, Tomasz.
Yes. What is important to mention here is that we do it in two streams, internally, in our organization, in our factories, but also externally, meaning what we are offering to our customers, to our partners. We will be using more and more electrical or low emission cars, which is quite obvious. This we can see on the streets of Poland, we can see it in our companies. What we do more is that by 2030, we will implement the solutions that 80% of ABB products and solutions is based on circularity of resources, materials. Next one. And recycling and remanufacturing of old robots.
Not the one we brought here today.
No.
It's
that one is
recycled.
brand new, yes. But at least thousands of robots got the second life from us. And they can be still in use in different industries.
Yeah. There's no emotions attached when you give second life to a robot. So around social progress. So if we think about our, let's say, sustainability, underneath sustainability, it's not just about how we can change the world, but also how we can work better with our people. So people is a big part of that. Diversity and inclusion is definitely up there when it comes to supporting inside the company, but also the surrounding communities. Zero harm, I think this is, if we had more time, next time, ABSL, if we had more time, we could walk you through this virtual reality that we've put together based on one of our factories in Singapore to help the engineers actually go through the experience virtually without having to actually go on site and run the risk of electrocuting themselves. So this is something that helps with zero harm.
Yes, and we know that most probably we will never be able to reach this target because we are humans. But we will be working to this target every day, every month, and every year.
Absolutely. Super important. We're supporting those initiatives, as you can see here. Like I mentioned, diversity and inclusion. Another question, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to senior management, it's up there in one of our 2030 targets as well. So can you guys, give a bit of a guess on what percentage will we have at the top level within our organization? 105,000 people globally, but the top senior staff members of female leadership. Let's have a look. I know it's like Christmas here. Let's have a look. All right. It's very ambitious. Very ambitious.
Okay, Peter.
But, if we look in Poland, only 68% of
No
our
excuses,
leadership.
Peter. We have a new target.
25. We have a new target. We will call corporate immediately after this presentation and tell them, guys, what the hell? 25, we're just scratching the surface, yeah? Look, in summary, and we got another couple of questions in there as well. Like we said, this is part of our DNA. This is what holds us together. It's integrity, it's transparency, it's that social contribution towards society. It's preserving those resources and enabling that low-carbon society at the end of the day.
And it was already mentioned here. It's about tools, it's about solutions, but it's very much about cultural change.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's about us, it's about our people, it's about our leaders.
So,
now
you're all here.
Now about
Off
us.
you go.
Yes, now about us. We were discussing the global projects, mega ships, hundreds of tons of CO2 emissions. Where we are here.
How did you get here? Tomasz, I know you swam here this morning, all right? But it's not an option. Sorry about that. And let's now figure out how many people are out there remotely. It's a bit daunting, actually. Let's have a look. And there's no right or wrong answer here, guys. It's a fact. Okay. Electric car, 3%.
Bravo.
Nobody by bike. Public transportation, quite high. Okay. Good. Last but not least, we want to talk. You take this one?
Yes. And this is about us here in Poland. I took this position 2 years ago, and we must say we are not perfect. And we know that we need to accelerate the change. We need to accelerate bringing new solutions. But we are on a very good direction. And I think that we are just getting to the point that this cultural change will reach the critical mass in our organization.
So you can see we're quite busy, but we're only getting started. Just some fun fact, number of trees needed.
And also, what I would like to say, we can discuss again, large global projects, but it starts with us. It starts with small things. How we come to the office using bike or our car. Are we using the plastic cup or glass? And so on and so on. So sustainability is global targets, but sustainability is very much about us.
Last question, I promise you. Last question. How many of the things up here do you believe that we're actively involved in? After everything you've listened to and seen and heard from us. Reducing greenhouse gas, water consumption, electricity, landfills, and our first kind of neutral production sites. Let's have a look at the answer, please. And the answer is, of course, it's perfect. It's perfect. Because at least someone said we do something for all of those things, which means it's correct. Every single one of those things we're working on. If we go back to the main presentation, that's the key message. We're active everywhere. Now, guys.
And we are a technology engineering company, but we would like to finish this short presentation with a small piece of poetry.
Poetry. Well, hey. Too bad for the ones who didn't show up today, yeah? Sustainability starts with each of us. Let's not be quiet. We must kick up a fuss. A low-carbon society is what we need. All that's missing is conviction and speed. Caring for people and communities around, social progress was lost, now it's found. Fostering reusability and recycling together, some things you can never keep us on using forever. All that's been said, it's been said before. Let's now answer the loud knock on the door. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Resilience, maturity, talents, growth, innovation. But change made us stronger. This all made us sustainable. ABSL Summit. Beyond tomorrow, building a sustainable future.